Right, YouTube, this is it. This is my review of my 8GB iPhone 3G. So, I've got quite a bit to get through actually in this video. I'm not going to dwell on applications in the App Store because I'm going to do another video on that. But this is obviously my iPhone 3G that you've seen me unbox. First off, I'm just going to get it out of the way and be completely honest. I love this phone. It is just brilliant. It really is. Obviously, it's not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect phone. So I'm going to focus on the things it doesn't do so well to start with, and then we'll talk about what it does do well. So, I think probably the first thing I should really tackle is battery life. There's a lot of posts on the internet. People saying, oh, my iPhone doesn't last till 3 PM, you know, I take it off charge at 3 PM, it's completely flat, can't even get a day off the thing, you're lucky if you get a day off the thing. I can't honestly say that I agree with those statements. Yeah, sure, okay, this phone is not going to be like 2 weeks of standby time, for the most part, you know, or something like that. You're going to be charging it. I think it's probably fair every 2 to 3 days. At the minute I'm charging it daily, but I am using it incredibly heavily. If you don't turn 3G on, you sit on edge most of the time, you use it as a phone, bit of email and stuff like that, you know, like you would use a BlackBerry for instance, you'll probably find you'll get a couple of days off it without needing to charge it. If, like me, you end up sticking 3G on the train and browsing all manner of web forums and looking at stuff like PC Pro, Apple's website, checking Mac rumours, you find you go through battery quite quickly. And the other thing I do quite a lot is play games on the thing, which I don't think helps it. But yeah, battery life, I would say maybe slightly disappointed with it. It's not amazing, but I'm not that disappointed with it because I found it a lot better than has been widely sort of said by a number of people. So yeah, a charge every couple of days or so if you're using it sort of fairly lightly. If you're playing games on it like I do and stuff, you know, probably daily. That's one of the things. One of the other things that is, I guess, a little odd, it doesn't do multimedia messaging. You can't do picture messages. I've not really used picture messages in the past, so it's not, you know, an issue for me. I think it's odd that a phone doesn't do it, but you can take a photo with this and you can email it, and email is free on the iPhone, so, you know, I can't really say that it's a major issue. But if you're heavily into picture messaging and you've got a lot of friends who don't have, you know, like iPhones, then you might find a slight issue with it, but I think there's a couple of free web applications out there that might help with that. I'm not overly sure. One of the other things that's a little odd is text messaging. It doesn't tell you how many characters you've got left in your text message or how many text messages you've spanned. Again, it's not a major issue because I don't text that heavily. But if you're a heavy texter and you always run fairly close to your limit per month, and you know you watch, like you take it down to the last character in your text message, you're probably going to find you're going to need to sort of judge it more than read a little number off. I'd say that's certainly the main ones. Camera, it's alright. I don't really use it as a digital camera because I've already got a perfectly good one for that. But you know, for the odd quick snap, send a quick email with it, it's not too bad. And yeah, I mean, those are sort of my main gripes with it. One thing I will say, I don't know if it will show up here. Yeah, you can probably see my reflection in the phone. You can see some slight scratching around here now. I haven't got a case for it because I haven't had a case for a phone for probably 10 years or something like that. What I will say is it is very robust in the pocket, this thing is. It will take a lot of punishment, and I try and be really gentle with mine, but inevitably it sort of gets bumped around. I've never put it in a pocket with anything else, so it's always in, you know, a pocket on its own, and everything else goes in another pocket. There are a couple of slight scratches on the Apple logo. That just seems to scratch like nothing else. It doesn't seem to matter what you do. There's only really a couple of very faint ones in the black plastic. This is tough stuff, this plastic. The glass, not a scratch. This is really tough, this glass. I'll put a link up in the sidebar over there for a video that's on YouTube. One of the PC magazines in America did some destruction testing of the iPhone. It's not something to watch for the faint of heart, particularly not if you can't bear to see an iPhone going through pain, but it shows you just how tough these things are. So yeah, I mean that's really sort of it from that side of things. I just want to go on to the things that it does really well. Internet, without a question, is just something else. Obviously it looks great. If you use an iPod Touch before, you know exactly what to expect with the internet. The keyboard on it is actually, I think, really useful. Sorry, I'm just bringing up an example on the web browser. I've actually got this working on Edge at the minute, okay? So it's not going to be massively fast, but it's actually loading up my website. It renders websites brilliantly. In fact, there we go. As you can see, my website displays quite well. Turn it on its side, and the iPhone works its magic. You know, I mean, this is a great device for internet on the go. Obviously, it doesn't do flash, but that doesn't massively bother me. I mean, it's a phone. Email, I just live by the thing now. I mean, I can check my personal email at work without having to try and log on to the internet at work, which is painfully slow at best. So I mean, the phone on this, I love the touchscreen sort of thing. I think, you know, this dial pad is plenty big enough. You can dial really fast on it, as you can see. Visual voicemail is incredibly useful. I found it a bit gimmicky because I don't get that much voicemail as such anyway, but it's really nice when I've had 2 or 3 of them, rather than having to, you know, listen to them in sequence, to be able to just choose the one I want to listen to and listen to it. Definitely worth it. Obviously, calendar I've always used on my iPod anyway, so you know, this is just an extension to that. I mean, I don't really use the iPod on this, if I'm being honest. I've still got my iPod Touch for that, but what I do use this for is some of the other applications, you know, web applications. Not web apps, but applications that use the network connection in order to get data, such as Tube Status, a must if you're travelling in London. I've also bought some games for it, which I'll take you through in my next video. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this phone. I think it's been fantastic. I've not had a lot of the problems that people seem to be posting up about. It is on the 2.1 software, which I believe fixed a lot of issues for most people. And yeah, there you go. I mean, overall, very happy with this phone. It's well worth it. It cost me £99. I have a £35 a month contract with O2, 600 minutes, 500 texts, unlimited internet, Wi-Fi and all that stuff. Yeah, a great phone, very responsive touchscreen, very well built. Definitely give this an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It has its foibles that I've been through, but you know, what doesn't? Don't forget, head on over to my website, www.projiuk.co.uk, where I'll be posting up a full written review. And check back for my next video, which will be on my favourite applications. Alright, thanks.